Mohamed Qubaty was a high-ranking foreign affairs official and advisor to the Yemeni Prime Minister before defecting 2 weeks ago. He joins us now from our central London studio. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for giving me this chance.
Why did you decide to defect?
Well, actually, we have tried to cooperate with our global and international partners to prove that this man has lost all credibility he had. So for the past 3-4 years, we have been working towards, getting some consensus and achieving a sort of a dialogue between all different political parties outside and inside Yemen. But eventually, we have realized that the man is all the time just he's a fox, he's trying to play cards, and all the time running away with excuses from any credible or meaningful dialogue between the political forces in Yemen.
But unlike other countries and presidents in the region, he has been having talks with the opposition, has he not, for the past 2 years? He has also made concessions.
Well, these concessions are last-minute concessions, and that's why, he has lost credibility, as I've told you. Some 4 or 5 months ago, there was a sort of a roadmap which was agreed upon by the official opposition and the ruling party, and though he knew word by word of that, sort of agreement, he just turned things around, and he was against one of his prominent aides, Mr. Abdul Karim al-Iryani, and he said no, he wouldn't go for that. Though in spite of that, he has agreed word by word on such an agreement which was called the roadmap. This was 5 months ago, and he stopped all dialogue between the ruling party and the opposition, because we were looking further than that. We wanted to include those dialogue, to include people from outside Yemen, the opposition outside Yemen, and also to include the southern people who are leading the southern movement. So it was obvious that if he couldn't reach some sort of arrangements with the opposition, which is the official opposition in the parliament, how would he reach any agreement with the rest of the other political forces, meaning the southern movement and the political opposition outside the country?
He has agreed to stand down in January of 2012. It doesn't seem like a long period of time away, given the amount of time he's been in power.
Yes, but you see, as things have gone out of control, because as I've told you, there have been, more than one agreement. Just only a week ago, he said that he'll relinquish power within 60 days, and then he just negated that, and all the time he's just playing cards. I think he's looking for a strategy where he could just sort of bend in front of this storm and then arise again and start his games again. But the other thing, I think, in this context, we have got to speak, he's looking for what he calls as a sort of a safe strategy for him to exit out of the country, because he's worried that perhaps he would be prosecuted for the embezzlement of funds, and he might be also followed and pursued for some of the crimes which he has committed over the past 3 weeks. So I think our partners globally and regionally would be, their good offices would be helpful if they could sort of reassure him that, or give him some guarantees towards him relinquishing power to second in command, people who are in the second chain of command, so that we can start the dialogue which we have been looking forward for a long time ago. Dialogue between forces inside and outside Yemen, so as to prevent what he is taking the country now. I'm worried that the man feels that his only safe exit strategy is to push the country into sort of fragmentation and chaos and anarchy, so that he might not be followed for all the embezzlement and the crimes which he has committed against humanity, as far as he is worried about, because that was the stumbling block for the dialogue, for the negotiations which were going on for the past 5-6 days.
He does have some supporters, though. We've had reports today of tens of thousands of people demonstrating not just against his rule, but people who are in favour of it continuing as well.
Yes, and he's a clever man to try and mastermind some sort of ploy in that, because if you follow what is happening this Friday and the previous Friday, there were demonstrations all across 15 to 20 of our governorates, and people, hundreds of thousands, were demonstrating all across 15 different cities in Yemen. And he has spent a lot of money. He must have spent nearly $300 million over the past week, you know, to sort of bring people from all over the country for a demonstration in front of him in Sana'a. Just only one demonstration. So we don't sort of deny that a man who has been ruling for the past 33 years, he can collect 100,000, 200,000 people in one of these places in Sana'a, bringing them from all over the country. But we have got to look for other demonstrations which are going now across 15 of our governorates.
Okay, Mr. Qubaty, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Not at all.
It's